Hey there and welcome back. Today's video is all about breaking down the top 3 builds a solo player can use while in the black zone to maximize their profits, whether it be silver or fame. I'll talk about what they do best and what they can improve on. We will also talk about what items you should get for each build and what abilities to take. I've ranked them based on how versatile they are in the black zone, how pricey these builds might be, and how well they do in PvP and PvE. Now, I am more than confident that if you go with any of these builds, you'll find success making silver in the black zone. However, make sure to stick through the entire video to see which build fits your playstyle the best. Now, before we get into the video, I did want to announce my next giveaway. This giveaway will be happening in our community Discord. I will provide a link to the Discord in the description. Make sure to join the Discord. This is a great way to keep up with my videos and when I go live. We will also be adding a channel with previous build breakdowns and links to those videos. The giveaway is live, so make sure to join the Discord and hit the enter button. Now, without further ado, let's get into the breakdown. At number 3, we have the Battle Bracers. Let's talk about what Battle Bracers do well. You can easily kill mobs, including empowered mobs in the open world. Your Battle Bracers provide high mobility, giving you the ability to escape, making this a very safe way to gather while in the black zone. You will also do great in PvP with a high amount of burst from your E. You will have the ability to interrupt and knock up casters. You have the mobility to close the distance and secure kills. Now, there are some things that Battle Bracers wishes it could do better. You can struggle against boss mobs or in prolonged fights due to the lack of sustain. They are also not efficient for soloing dungeons, and when on cooldown, your normal attacks can feel weak in comparison to other melee builds, so try and dodge or kite while waiting for your abilities to come back up. Now, for your helmet slot, you will go with the Hunter Hood. Even after the 15% reflect nerf, Hunter Hood is still strong, so make sure to take Retaliate for the reflect and Balance Mind for the increased damage and defense. Your armor piece will be Cleric Robe for the increased damage from wearing cloth armor. For your abilities, you will go with the Everlasting Spirit for the immunity shield, which provides a 20% increase in damage, and Aggression for the 8% increase in damage. Now, for your Battle Bracers, you will go with Dragon Leap for your Q, Triple Kick for your W, your E is Falcon Smash, and I recommend taking Hard to Catch as your passive. These abilities will provide a high amount of damage, mobility, and crowd control. For your boots, go with Soldier Boots and take Rejuvenating Sprint. This will provide you with mobility and a bit of sustain. For your passive, you'll take Toughness for the increased defense. Now, your cape will be the new Avalonian Cape for the Force Pulse, which does an AoE damage and provides a debuff. Now, at number 2, we have the king of solo PvE, the Druidic Staff. You can easily clear 8.3 solo dungeons, you can kill bosses in tier 5 group dungeons, and you can also kill bosses in the roads and open world. You can even solo bosses for chests and static dungeons. It simply is one of the best solo PvE weapons in the game. It also doesn't require a lot of spec and provides high sustain with a good amount of damage. In solo content, it does lack a bit in PvP. You can win your occasional open world fights, you'll do okay in corrupted dungeons, but it is a hybrid weapon and it does struggle in 1v1 PvP. For your helmet, you will have 2 different options. You can go the cheaper route with Mage Cowl for the AoE fire damage, or the Cultist Cowl for inner corruption, providing you with a high amount of single target damage. Now, your armor piece will be Mercenary's Jacket. It did receive a small nerf, but at most it's about 10%. This will provide you with a high amount of sustain with Bloodlust. Make sure to take Balanced Mind for the increased damage and defense. Now, for your Druidic Staff, you will go with Thorns on your Q, which provides you with a decent amount of damage and crowd control. Your W can vary. You can go with either Brambles for the extra damage and crowd control, or Protection of Nature for defense and increased incoming healing. Now, your E is Spiritual Seed. It'll provide you with a high amount of healing. For your offhand, go with Torch for the increased attack speed, which will help you with doing more auto attack damage and sustain from Mercenary Jacket. Your boots are Soldier Boots. You will take Rejuvenating Sprint for the increased mobility and healing. You will also go with Toughness for the extra defense. Now, you can go with the basic cape or Thetford Cape for the extra AoE damage from its Chain Lightning. Now, at number 1, we have the Battleaxe. I recommend going with this build for all players, including new players. You will get the most out of Battleaxe as it is very versatile and does amazing in PvE and PvP. Now, you'll have high damage output with very good sustain from your E and the items that you build around the Battleaxe. When you get mastery in the weapon, you will gain crowd control from your Q. You also can gap close on ranged DPS with your W. It is very consistent and one of the better weapons for PvP. You can also solo group dungeons, tier 5 static dungeons. You can solo higher tier dungeons, solo open world content within the roads, and empowered mobs. If you become the master of the Battleaxe, you will do well in PvP and PvE content, which will make you a lot of silver all around. Now, the skill cap can be a bit high. You want to master throwing your axe and maximize your damage in PvP. You also can get kited by Frost Staff or Fire Staff with the wall, so be prepared for this. You'll want to use dash for your W to close the gap. Battleaxe can become very energy dependent, so you might have to lean on a Limhurst cape or cloth energy shoes. You might even have to take some energy pots for PvE. Now for your helmet, you have two options. You can go with Hunter Hood for the 85% reflect, or with Fiend Cowl to take Purge to remove your enemy's buffs, including movement speed. You will also have two options when it comes to your armor piece. This is between the Hellion Jacket and a Mercenary Jacket. They both do very well, however, if you are focusing on 1v1s like Corrupted Dungeons or soloing individual bosses, the Mercenary Jacket and its Bloodlust will serve you well. However, if you are in the Mist or open world where a 1v2 or 1v3 might break out, then the Hellion Jacket is a better pick since you'll heal more from your R. Now for your Battleaxe, you can go with Rending Rage, which is your Q3. However, it does require level 85 mastery. So in the meantime, use Q1 for single target or Q2 for multiple targets. Your W will be Adrenaline Boost for the most part for the increased damage and attack speed. However, dash is a good way to gap close or escape. Now your E is Blood Bandit, which has two charges of an axe throw. They both do huge damage, with the second axe throw healing you based off the amount of bleeds your target has. Make sure to use this wisely as it is a huge part of your burst damage and sustain. I like to take deep cuts for your passive, which inflicts a dot on your enemy. For your offhand, I recommend going with Musak. It will provide you increased attack damage and ability damage. On top of that, you'll gain 16% healing cast bonus for more sustain. For your boots, I recommend Royal Sandals for Defenseless Rush, which increases your movement speed and damage. If you're looking to strictly PvE, you can go with any cloth sandals for energy regen. Go with Aggression for the increased damage. For your cloak, take the Avalonian Cape for the Force Pulse, which does huge AoE damage and reduces your enemy's damage by 15% for 4 seconds. Now, as I mentioned earlier, these 3 solo builds are great for different aspects of the game. You'll be successful with whichever one you choose. Make sure to test them out and go with the one that fits your playstyle and provides you the most fun. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see me live, you can watch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Donnie956 at 9 a.m. Central Time or 2 p.m. UTC. Now, I have not forgotten about my fellow YouTube viewers. I will be streaming every Tuesday at the same time, so make sure to stop by and say hello.